All right, finna go ahead and get started. We finna go ahead and get started, fellas. All right, give me 1 second. All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 64. Episode number 64. Evaluate where you stand. All right, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started for today. All right. So, with evaluating where you stand, you want to ask yourself a few questions, right? Are you satisfied with where you are right now, right? Are you on track to where you want to be? See, these are just a few questions you need to ask yourself. So, if I'm gonna be transparent with you, right? If I'll be transparent with you, right? First question: am I where I want to be? As of right now, I am not where I want to be. Um, there's a few adjustments that I do have to make, but I'm definitely in the works of making those adjustments. So yeah, just being transparent. Like I said, you need to be 100% honest with yourself. Are you where you want to be? Right? Are you have you been true to the path that you're trying to go towards? Right? And I would say, for me personally, I would say that I'm definitely on track. I definitely need to lock in a little bit more, but I'm definitely on track. Of course, come on now. I'm on track, but I'm trying to. Yes, I for sure feel that. For sure feel that. Yeah, you're trying to get to where you want to go quicker. For sure, I see. Um, yeah, for sure, you're on track, but you're not where you want to be exactly. And I feel like this entire self improvement space, and I wouldn't consider it a game realistically, but I would say this entire mode of being. I appreciate it. This entire mode of being is like is I guess you're never gonna be 1,000% satisfied. I was gonna have Anthony on, but he had to watch his nephew or something like that, or yeah, the niece or the nephew, something like that. Um, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, right? Yeah, you need to ask yourself these questions. Like I said, ultimately you need to be honest with yourself. We have a few months left in this year, so this is the moment for you to go ahead and lock in, right? These next few months are some of the quickest months that end the year off, right? They're always usually really really quick. October, November, and December, very very quick months, right? So for these next few months, you need to make sure that you are, like I said, locked in. Um, if I were you, and this is something I'm going to do as well, very very soon, go ahead and create the goals that you have for the rest of this year, right? Set your goals pretty decently high. One of the goals that I have is I want to do a muscle up. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. Yeah, I want to do one of those. I talked to Anthony about this earlier as well. We just got back from the gym, and I want to get what is it, 20 pull-ups. Yeah, by the end of the month, I want to be hitting 20 pull-ups in one set. So, um, definitely on track. I just hit 10 today, which I know is not that impressive, fellas. I know it's not that impressive realistically, but hey, I just started doing pull-ups like literally like maybe 3 weeks ago. So, definitely making progress. Yeah, set some goals for yourself, right? Another goal that I have is I definitely want to hit at least 50,000 views on this channel, but to end the year, at least 50,000. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. But hey, like I said, hey, if you can get it done by the end of this year if you put the work in, man. If you put the work in, you can for sure to get it done. That's for damn sure. Um, yeah. So a few months left. What goals do you want to achieve? What goals do you want to achieve? Write it up because 3 months is a significant amount of time. Like I said, it does go quick, but it's definitely a significant amount of time, right? And with this significant amount of time that is left, like I said, fellas, you just gotta lock in. You just gotta lock in, right? Set yourself up for next year, right? Allow yourself to be in a better position than you are right now, and allow yourself to be in a better position going into next year because next year, 2023, that's a big year, fellas. That is a big year. Every single year ahead of you is a big year, fellas. You got to look at it, and that has to be your mindset. Is that right there? It is going to be a big year for you, and every single year is my year. At the end of the day, fellas, that's another mindset we got to add to the undefeated mindset that we had from Tuesday. But every year is my year. That's got to be your mindset to finish the year out. As long as you lock in with that mindset is like I said, it's undefeated. It's undefeated right there. So, a few months left. One thing I wanna say as well with trying to go ahead and set these goals. I want you to go ahead and take a moment to, like I said, what do you want to start? We're gonna start, stop, and go. Right. What do you want to start for this month? Is there anything in particular that you think that um, you need to go ahead and start that is going to set you up better for next year? Right. Take the steps right now, so later on it's going to be a lot easier for yourself. Right. Start. What habits do you want to start? What structured routines do you want to add? Right? I feel like everybody should have a structured routine, whether it's a nightly routine or a morning routine or both. Personally, I have both, and I definitely recommend both. Um, so yeah, just adding that structure. Like I said, if you don't have the structure, make sure you go ahead and get onto it, right. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you, my dog. I appreciate you. Structure routines, and also what are some areas of improvements, right? Where have you been lacking, personally? Where have you been lacking? Um, if I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm like I said, we're being transparent right here. Reading is definitely something I've been lacking on, right? Um, and this is something that if I'm gonna preach on it, I definitely got to go ahead and act in accordance to that. So, it is definitely something that I'm going to retap back into because it is definitely enjoyable. Once you get into a really good book, it is definitely an enjoyable experience. So, I definitely got to get back into that right there. Stop, right? So you have the start, you have the stop, right? For the stop, what actions, what habits, what tendencies do you need to stop? Because everybody has something right now that they're doing that is not really serving their future self, right? So what is it? Be clear with yourself. Be honest with yourself. What is something you need to stop or do, or stop at the do less of at the very least, or stop, right? What are things that you need to get rid of because, like I said, they're not serving you for your future self? For me, like I said, I need to stop not reading, right? I need to stop if I'm being honest with myself, if I'm being honest, right? I need to stop letting my distractions get the best of me because, quite frankly, as recently, my distractions have definitely been getting the best of me, and um, yeah, like I say, starting next week, I'm not really. I'm gonna, yeah, like I said, we're gonna be locked in. We're gonna be locked in. I got no other choice. Um, so yeah, stop. Yeah, what are the habits what are the habits that you're gonna stop, right? Everybody has little things, right? And I'm not even talking about like super big things. They could even be little things, right? I know some people have like nervous ticks that they do, right? Go ahead and remove those nervous ticks. Maybe it's time to stop um having shit posture, right? Maybe it's time to stop not making eye contact. There's a bunch of little things that you need to stop doing, or like I said, start doing. Just be honest with yourself and understand that even if these things at the very beginning is going to be uncomfortable, whether it's starting something or whether it's stopping something, if it's going to bring you the most growth later on, you definitely need to go ahead and do that, right? You have no other choice. You have no other choice. All right. Okay. Give me one second. Give me one second, fellas. Let me just pull up my notes quick. All right. So yeah, just evaluating where you stand. Where do you stand right now? Where do you stand, fellas? Where do you stand? If you're not where you want to be, what do you have to do? And I feel like a lot of people really know the answers to their questions. That's another thing that I've definitely learned is there's a lot of people that act as if they do not have the answers to their questions, but they're just, I want to say, not brave enough, but they don't have the courage to go ahead and do what they know they need to do, right? So you watching this right now, right? There's some things that you haven't been doing. There's some things you know you should be doing, right? What are those things? You need to do those things because ultimately, if you're not doing those things, you're leaving yourself. Well, honestly, it's self sabotage. You're self sabotaging yourself at the end of the day, right? And that is not it is not an enjoyable thing because you're going to you're going to run into this pattern of behavior where you're going to know you need to do it, don't do it, feel regret for not doing it, think about things you need to do, and not do it again, right? It's a very vicious cycle. So go ahead and break the cycle. Um, I would recommend doing it beginning of next week. Beginning of next week is a good time to start. Like I said, what is it? It's the second week of this month, and like I said, you got 2 months, roughly about 2.5 months ahead of you. So that is a perfect time to start. You can get a lot done. You can get rid of a lot of things. You can remove habits. You can build new habits. You can add new structured routines to your day. Um, so yeah, make sure you go ahead and do that. Yeah, this entire podcast was just really this. This is really just asking you the question: where do you stand? This is the check you. This podcast today is here to check you. Are you doing what you need to do? If you're not doing what you need to do, what do you need to stop doing? Because like I said, there's a bunch of things that you need to stop doing. For example, maybe you're playing too much video games. That's something that you potentially maybe need to stop, or maybe it's Maybe it's to stop procrastinating, right? That's another one that gets a lot of people right. Maybe it's to stop thinking about a certain thing. Like I said, evaluate where you stand. Maybe it's like I said, not prioritizing what you need to prioritize, or maybe it's not getting rid of the distractions when you know you have complete control over your distractions. A lot of people will bullshit themselves and say, "Oh, I, they act like they're hopeless to their distractions," when that's not how the world is, right? Everyone is in control for the most part of some of their distractions. It's as simple as just removing yourself from the environment, and yeah, easier said than done in some situations, but nonetheless, it is definitely something that you might need to do. I got that piece of game from this book called Atomic Habits. Definitely a book that I've recommended on this channel before. Would definitely recommend it if you're a beginner in self improvement. I would definitely recommend that book because that is going to give you a strong foundation for not only developing some of your why of building habits, but it also will help you break bad habits as well. And yeah, there is a strategic process for both of them. It is just a matter of you actually like I said, taking the time to read the book, which is like I said something that I have done. And yeah, another thing with standing where you are, or evaluating where you stand. Right, this is a question that I had to ask myself earlier today. Give me 1 second. Yeah, one question I really had to ask myself was why would people want to watch? Why would people want to take game from me? And I had to ask myself, that was a good question, right? Why would people want to take game from me? And my answer to that would be, like I said, just evaluating where you stand. Why why am I worthy enough for to be first of all to be speeding game, second of all to be having people take the game that I have to say, right? Um, I would say because I'm a decently credible source, right? I put in work in each endeavor in life, all the different endeavors that are worth pursuing in life. I put in work towards those things, and I've done the research. Quite frankly, that is me evaluating where I stand. Right, I've done the research to be doing these podcasts. I um, have not only applied habits, I've applied mindsets, and I've done countless hours of self work as well. Right, so this is evaluating where you stand. So some of the things that you're doing, right? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Like I said, evaluate where you stand. Right? Are you in the correct position? Do you have the correct mindset to continue to do what you need to do, or rather, like I said, stop what you need to stop doing? All these questions are very very important, and they need to have a clear answer. Um, another reason going back to why I personally, like I said, evaluated where I stand. Um, I recognize that, like I'm an example. I'm an example nonetheless, right? I'm an example, right? I need to be acting as if I'm setting the example for people. And the second that I see myself not setting an example or not being the best example, like I said, there's some adjustments that need to be made. And at the end of the day, everyone should be their own harshest critic, right? You should be your harshest critic because if you're not, if you're not in control of your life like that, then that's gonna be a tough road for you. I would say that means you have people on your ass for real. If you're the hardest on yourself, there's no one that can be harder on you, right? So that is something that I've seen in my life, right? I have nobody pushing me, but I have well, I would say I have nobody pushing me. Let me rephrase that, right? I have nobody being a super harsh critic on me, right? I have been the harshest critic that I possibly can be on myself, quite frankly. Um, I feel guilt for not doing the things that I know I need to do. I feel I feel negative emotion when I'm not doing the things that I know I need to do, right? And it is because I have set myself up by evaluating where I stand and evaluating where I need to go, and that is just a byproduct of that, which some could say is a pain in the ass at times. I would say it's definitely a pain in the ass at times because, like I said, if I have a guilty conscience, then I'm not living within my truest self. Um, so, like I said, evaluate where you stand, fellas. Evaluate where you stand. If you're watching this, I appreciate for watching. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like on the video. Also, if there's a specific thing that you feel like you need to start or you need to stop, make sure you go ahead and let us down in the comments. Let us know in the comments so you can hold yourself accountable as well. Also, go ahead and let me know one or two goals that you have to end the year off. Because, like I said, this year we're getting into 2023. 2023 is a big, big year, fellas. That is a big year. That is 23 is my favorite number personally, right? So yeah, it is definitely a year I definitely got to turn up my self improvement, my business, my mindset, everything. I got to turn everything up, right? We turning up. 21. I turned 21 by the end of this year. 2023. I'll be 21. It's gonna be hell of a time. What a time to be alive, fellas. What a time to be alive, right? So yeah, definitely got to set yourself in position to take on the new year, right? Um, New year, new mindsets, new goals, new challenges, new setbacks, right? As long as you have the right mindset, you're gonna keep pushing. You're gonna keep pushing. It's simple as that. Um, yeah, I would say with evaluating where you stand, I would definitely recommend the last podcast that I did as well, which is on Tuesday, which was cultivating an undefeated mindset. So if you evaluate where you stand right now, and it is not, you are not in the right mind frame, right? You need to rewire your mind a little bit, right? You need to hear new things. You need to be open to new things. That is definitely going to be a podcast that I recommend. Episode number 63, Cultivate a New Mindset, or Cultivate the Undefeated Mindset, right? That is definitely a great podcast. Like I said, if you want to hear things that you maybe never heard of, or you need to rehear the things that you know you probably should listen to, right? That is going to give you a lot of game, and not only can it give you a lot of game, it might be able to give you some inspiration to develop your own undefeated mindsets that go into the rest of this year for you to be able to go ahead and pursue your goals. Another evaluating where I stand. One thing that I want to improve on, and that I have been improving on, is developing my speech. I want to learn more ways to speak better, more clearly, more thoroughly, and yeah, pretty much it. And I think one of the ways that I'm obviously doing this is this podcast right here. I've definitely got better with my speech, with my confidence. It's definitely helped me out in a lot of endeavors in life. But ultimately, I think that um, doing specific things. So I'm doing this podcast because I have a bigger purpose, right? But doing things that strategically, like I said, let you focus in on where you are right now, and where you want to be. I feel like one of those things maybe is like, actually for speaking, this is just I would say maybe meeting new people. I would say that might be able to help me with my speech because that allows me to conduct myself in a way where, I guess it's a clean slate. Honestly, it is a clean slate, realistically, right? So I'm like I said, I get to create who that person realistically thinks of me, right? Which that's kind of how it is with every interaction, right? Every single time you meet a new person, you get to create a new identity for yourself, essentially, right? Through that person's lens. And it's kind of weird to say that. It's kind of weird to say that, but at the end of the day, that's realistically what it is. So yeah, like I said, fellas, evaluate where you stand. What are things that you need to start doing? What are things you need to stop doing? Um, Not only with that, a few months left. What goals do you want to go ahead and set for yourself? What are goals that What are goals that you feel that if you do this, it's gonna make you a better person? And what are things you need to stop doing that are going to make you a better person? Because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of habits that people have. Um, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of habits that some people have that are not conducive to a healthy lifestyle, right? So you need to make sure that you need to evaluate the habits that you currently have. What are the ones that are unhealthy, and what do you do about the ones that are unhealthy? All right, all right. So we're 25 minutes in. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. I know I don't have anybody watching right now, but if you're watching this, like I said, make sure and leave it a like. Um, Also, if there's any specific podcast topics that you are interested in me speaking on, make sure and leave in the comments as well. And also look out for the clips that I'm going to be posting next week. I'm going to be posting a new podcast worth of clips, and it'll definitely be the undefeated mindsets that people need to hear. And I feel like I should definitely get a lot of good positive feedback from the undefeated mindsets. Realistically, if you disagree with an undefeated mindset that I have, then you let me know everything that I need to know about you. Honestly, if you can't cultivate undefeated mindsets, you like I said, if you disagree with what I have to say when it comes to cultivating an undefeated mindset, simple as that, You just you're not like I said, you just not where you need to be. You're not thinking the way you need to think, in my opinion. Right? Like I said, that'll let me know a lot about you. That'll let me know a lot about you. That'll let me know that you lacking. Simple. Lacking. That's the simplest way I can say it. Um but shout out to Anthony. He should be in the chat very, very soon. Shout out to Anthony. We've been getting to work in. Finally had a great day where he felt really, really good. So yeah, shout out to him. Should be having some new people on the podcast. Hopefully next week. I'm gonna reach out to a few different people and see if I can get a podcast going with maybe some new people that I have never even brought on. Because there's definitely some people that um, I've been thinking about bringing on, and I think there's potentially good conversation there. So I'm definitely looking forward to bringing on new people as well. Um, but yeah, I definitely have a few things. Like I said, evaluating where I stand. Right, I definitely have a few things that I'm planning on. It's just me taking like I said the first steps, and it's pretty much going to be a snowball effect from there. But yeah, definitely have some stuff going right now. Well, yeah, like I said, evaluate where you stand, and if you're not standing on the ground that you need to be go ahead and standing on, then like I said, hey fellas, you know, you know what you got to do, fellas. You know what you got to do. Um, Other than that, yeah, this podcast is going to be cut a little bit short. Uh, like I said, I appreciate everyone for stopping by. If you are in here, make sure to leave a like. Also, if you're in here, make sure to go and comment as well. All right. Yeah. So evaluating where you stand. What are the good things that you have been doing? I feel like it also is an opportunity for you to pat yourself on the back. Honestly, I feel like not enough people give themselves enough credit. Right. What are things that you have been doing that have been positive? Like for me, for example, right, I would say going to the gym consistently is something that I'm definitely proud of myself for doing, right? Yesterday was my first off day in like 9 or 10 days straight. So that says anything. Of course, I've been on my shit when it comes to the gym. Been doing it like it's a damn job, honestly, and it's been fantastic. Seeing a lot of progress and things like that. That is definitely one thing I'm proud of. Another one is I would say building the relationships with people that um, meaning building meaningful relationships with the people that I deem to be worthy of my time. That has definitely been another one that I have been um, doing that is great, and I would definitely give myself a pat on the back with that as well. And also pushing the ones around me as well. That is another thing that I've been doing. I would say pretty good. Not only giving game on this podcast, but pushing the people in my real life um, to be the best version that they can be. Because I know that if you're around me, I know you have potential. Because the reason I'm um, friends with you is because I can see the potential in you. So, uh, pushing those people to be better, trying to give them the extra juice that they need, man. I keep using that because that's what it is, man. Give them the extra juice, man. Simple as that. And yeah, that's something that I would say I definitely been doing really, really good on. Also, with maintaining weight, I've been doing pretty good with that. Obviously, need to start gaining a lot more weight, but yeah, definitely been doing good with that as well. So definitely proud of that. Um, like I said, you also need to, like I said, be your harshest critic, right? If you're not where you want to be, you cannot keep doing the same shit, right? Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? You cannot expect anything different than what you've been receiving if you're not changing anything, and it could even be a little thing that you change, right? And you might be able to get a different outcome, but you have to really analyze to see what is holding you back, right? There's certain tendencies that hold people back that maybe even they might even seem like they're a positive, but they might be a net negative in the grand scheme of things. For example, like I said, I mentioned this earlier, video games, for example, right? Great in the moment, right? There might be a lot of positive things. You might be able to interact with friends and things of that sort. But is it a net positive? Are you making money off of it, right? That's what it comes down to. Is it really a productive um, point of time? And I know not everything has to be productive, but at the end of the day, it depends also where you want to get to in life, right? If you're trying to achieve something great, great, playing video games is probably not going to be the best choice of time. Um, so yeah, you got to evaluate and be your harshest critic, because like I said, if you're not your harshest critic, life's a little weird for you. Then life's a little weird for you. Um, you should have high expectations for yourself, because if you're watching this podcast, you should want to achieve great things. So you should be your harshest critic, right? I have never met anybody that's been as harsh or expect as much out of me as I do myself. And that it definitely has its, like I said, it definitely has its perks and definitely has its negatives. Because, like I said, feeling like, for example, right? I took a day off yesterday. I felt guilty for taking a day off at the gym. I felt guilty for that. I went 9 days straight. I felt guilty for taking a day off. And that is, like I said, that sounds great. That sounds great that I went 9 days straight. But like I said, in the moment, I was like, man, I really want to go to the gym. And since I forced myself not to go, I was like, fuck, tough, man. Back and buys with it. Back and buys was good today. Back and buys was good today, but I wanted that shit yesterday. No cap. Definitely been making improvements on the back as well. Come on now. You know what time it is, fellas. You know what time it is, man. Well, the camera angle moved a little bit. That's weird. It's probably been like the entire time, but I usually angle it different, but it's fine. All right. Other than that, fellas, yeah. If you guys have any last second comments before I go ahead and end it off, make sure you leave in the comments as well. Yeah, I'll run through everything one more time, and then, like I said, I'll go ahead and end it off though. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. Like I said, make sure you leave a like as well. New TikToks on the way. New YouTube Shorts on the way as well. So we're gonna go ahead and tap in with that as well. That is definitely something that I'm trying to improve on as well, which is going to be the YouTube Shorts. The quality should definitely improve very, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. All right, go ahead. We'll go run through it one more time, and then we'll go ahead and end it off. Right. So we have 2.5 months, roughly, a little bit more than 2.5 months left of this year. Right. 2022 is coming to an end with these next 2.5 months. These realistically 3 months that we're in, definitely are the fastest months of the entire year. I would say for damn sure. So with that being said, you got to make sure you're locked in and don't get lost in the sauce. Right. Make sure you're locked in and allow yourself to really think for yourself and say, do I have goals for the end of this month? Do I have goals for the end of this year? And am I on track to achieving those goals? Or do I have to, get back to the drawing board, right? Think about these things because they need to be thought about. They need to be structured. They need to be written down, in my opinion. They need to be written down because if they're not written down, then do they even exist, really? They exist within your mind, but there's a lot of things that are not real that exist within the mind, right? So then you need to bring them to the physical world by writing them down. So writing down your goals, I would recommend 2 sets of goals. Write down the goals you want to accomplish by the end of this month. Write down the goals that you want to accomplish by the end of this year. Those two will set you up for success, hopefully. It'll at least give you a target to strive for. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Same thing I said earlier, right? Starting. What are things that you want to start? What are things that you want to start doing? And yeah, these are all things I'm gonna write down once I get off this podcast. Right? What are things that I want to start? One thing I want to start is damn, I just had it in my mind. Structuring the podcast differently. I want to add some different structure to the podcast. I want to do different segments on the podcast. So that is definitely something I'm probably gonna try to implement. Hopefully by next week, I'm gonna figure something out, and then also, yeah, like I said, bringing on new people. I want to bring on new people, man. New people to the podcast, to the Life of a Champ podcast. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a great time. So I'll definitely be doing that as well, and then shit, getting some more rest, going to sleep earlier, man. That's something I want. That's something I need to do, man. Go to sleep early, man. I've been going to sleep too late, man. I've been going to sleep like one like for like the last few nights, and it's been terrible. But yeah, that is something that I'm also gonna recommend for you if you're watching this, right? How's your sleep schedule? Is it exactly where you need to be, right? Are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep at the time you need to go to sleep, and are you waking up at the time you need to wake up? Because it's very easy to fall into a pattern because your body gets comfortable with whatever it is, right? Especially sleep patterns. If you're consistent with it, obviously it's gonna be harder to break. But yeah, pay attention to your sleep because a lot of people do not give sleep enough attention because it is obviously a downtime, right? But at the same time, it is also where you spend 1/3 of your life. So you got to make sure that 1/3 of your life is as effective and efficient as it needs to be. And if it's not, then fellas, you got to make that adjustment, right? It is definitely a worthy investment to spend your time and energy thinking about how to sleep. Like for example, one habit that I picked up this year, which I'm definitely proud of for damn sure, is breathing through my nose while I sleep. Right, a lot of people breathe through their mouths. It's not good for you. It's not good for your. It's not good for you. Period. If you want to get deeper sleep, if you want to get more thorough sleep, start breathing through your nose. Right. So even if you don't take anything from this podcast, if you take that one thing, trust me, your life's gonna be way better because of that. You'll get deeper sleep, and you probably won't even need as much sleep because the quality of sleep that you're getting is gonna be better. Um, yeah, that's pretty good right there. I think I mentioned that on a previous podcast before, but yeah, it's definitely pretty good as well. Yeah, start. What are habits you need to start? What are routines you need to add? I would recommend two two routines, two structured routines. Make sure you have a morning routine where you consistently do it every single day. For me, this is going to be waking up, getting ready for my day, doing taking a shower, doing all that, getting dressed, all that, eating breakfast, and then getting into my work for the day. That is my morning routine. My nightly routine is unwinding. Um, you know, have the LED lights on like I usually do, and then I get into my face cleaning routine, and then just unwind down with some music. That's pretty much how it is for the most part. Definitely create nightly routines. Get into the habit of that because nightly routine is key, especially if you're not washing your face. Wash your face. You need to wash your face, man. Uh, Definitely something people sleep on for damn sure. But you definitely need to be washing your face, man. You definitely need to be doing that shit. Every time I lack, bro. Every time I lack that shit's it's terrible, man. Like I said, I feel regret. I feel regret, man. Other than that, fellas, yeah, I think I said everything I need to say. Remember, at the end of the day, fellas, we don't just work around here; we outwork. So that is how I'm gonna go ahead and end the podcast off. Um, like I said, if you're watching this, make sure and leave a comment as well. Leave a comment, favorite part. Also, something that you're going to go ahead and start, something you're going to go ahead and stop. Also, add one of your goals that you're going to have for the rest of this year. Other than that, this was Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 64. Evaluate where you stand. I will be having, like I said earlier, right? I'm going to be having new shorts come out on next week, and I'll be having new people on as well, Tuesday and Thursday. So make sure you go ahead and stay tuned in for that. Other than that, fellas, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And like I said, I hope you took something positive from this podcast. And if you did, make sure you go and let me know. Y'all have a good night. Like I said, until Tuesday.